representado por alguno de los mejores abogados de lesiones personales del país. Abogados de sobrenombre que jugarán su reputación para ganar su caso. Y si no ganan, no cobran. Por lo tanto, si ha sufrido de un accidente de auto o motocicleta, llame ahora y descubra hoy mismo de qué tipo de compensación puede tener derecho. Recuerde, contamos con algunos de los mejores abogados de lesiones personales del país, listos para luchar por usted. Y si no ganan su caso, no cobran. Llame a la línea de ayuda legal ahora mismo.
Relajación y aventura, con sus amplias costas ideales para descansar al sol. El Valle de los Cirios, con su...
Hello and welcome to Salaam Namaste. Broadcasting live from the Now Media TV studios in Houston, this is Saji Salam. This evening we have a very special guest on the show. We have with us Joe Anthony, who is the National General Secretary of Samajwadi Party in India. The Samajwadi Party is headquartered in Uttar Pradesh, which is one of the largest states in India, with a population of over 200 million, pretty much the size of Brazil. Joe, it's a pleasure to have you on the show. Welcome.
Namaste. Thank you so much, Mr. Saji Salam. I'm extremely honored by being here with you.
All right. Thanks for taking the time. And I know that you are in the midst of the final phase of the election campaigns in Uttar Pradesh. Thank you for taking the time from your schedule to be on this show. So let's talk about the Lok Sabha elections in India at a high level. How is this set up? What kind of schedules are we looking at, and the like?
See, Lok Sabha elections, the elections are held on 543 seats spread across the length and breadth of India. India is this Indian peninsula. We have 28 states and 8 union territories. This is a mega event, and the cost, the expenditure expected is more than 1.35 lakh crores. Roughly around 96 million voters would be going to booths, and it's a mega event spread across 7 phases. This started on 19th of April, and in a regular phase, in phase 2, phase 3, likewise, 7 phases, which ends on June 1st. And the counting takes place on June 4th. So June 4th is a big day.
Mm-hmm. Oh, well, it's a massive election, I should say, when we are dealing with 1.4 billion people, and spread over this many states. So it's been going on for a while, right? I mean, from mid-April on to now, ending in June. So that will be very interesting for many of our viewers to know. And now let's talk about the broad, alliances in the election. Right now, we have Prime Minister Modi leading the NDA versus the opposition under the umbrella of India alliance. So could you talk about NDA and the India alliance?
Yes. In the year 2014, NDA came into power, and they came with a huge majority, and that was followed by NDA in 2019 too. So NDA is a formidable force because they are in the government, and opposition parties from various different regional parties and national parties in the opposition put together have formed this India bloc. This was formed in the year 2023. Last year only this got formed. The very first meeting of India Alliance took place on June 23rd in Patna. That is, Patna is the capital of Bihar. So this happened in June 23rd, and in less than 1 year, it really got the momentum. And so the fight is between NDA and India Alliance. There are a few states where India Alliance, headed by Congress, International Congress is directly fighting with BJP because the NDA is headed by BJP. And there are some states like Uttar Pradesh. Uttar Pradesh is the largest state that way. I mean, we have 80 Lok Sabha seats in the state. And here, my party, Samajwadi Party, it takes lead as in the India coalition. We take lead, and we are in the forefront. We take lead in Uttar Pradesh. Likewise, in other states also, like down south, Tamil Nadu, it is DMK taking lead. When we go to, Karnataka and Telangana in South India, the Congress takes lead. Other small parties, regional and the parties are also there in the bouquet.
Very interesting. So what you also alluded to here is the strength of the regional political parties, right? It is not just one national party, but India also has several regional players who are strong in those states. So for instance, in Uttar Pradesh, Samajwadi Party seems to be one of the major players and taking the lead in the opposition to Prime Minister Modi and his party. So that's very interesting for us to know. What are the major issues that you see in this election?
See, major issues in the sense, first of all, corruption on one side, price rise and inflation on the other side. Then comes communalism. There is huge, humongous amount of distress among the masses. If you take the cross section of the society, be it farmers of this country, youth of this country, women, students, unemployed youth. See, in all spheres, this government has become a failure. They came with big promises. There were promises that they will control the price rise. They'll bring the inflation down. They did some exercise like demonetization, implementation of GST. But where lies the promises? Where lies the promises? That is the question. They offered to the masses of this nation, the prices of petrol and diesel would be contained. But the prices are going up on a daily basis. Taxes are going up. Even they have started taxing milk, curd, atta, and whatnot. See, even Britishers, they never taxed it. Unemployment has reached a level where we cannot see, even we cannot see a mirage. No new employments are created. They talk a lot, but it's not being created. They suppress the real facts. We have NSSO, that is National Sample Survey Organization. We have IITS, a very renowned institution, that is International Institute for Population Sciences. There are statisticians and architects sitting there. Their job, their duty is to find out what exactly is happening in this nation. Especially IIPS, when I talk about this. They conduct survey regarding health. They conduct study how the masses should be brought forward. I mean, they put suggestions across. You would have heard about being a doctor. I'm sure that you would have heard about NFHS, National Family Health Survey, which is conducted on a regular basis or on a regular interval. But a couple of times, I mean, if you look back, 2019, 20, 21, 22, they were not allowed to publish it. Because the facts, what they got, what they came out, well, the facts, what they could find, were not in the interest of the government. So government, they started putting pressure. I mean, if you go deep into it, see, even the person who was on the hem of the affairs was forced to resign. They never wanted the facts to come out. And they want to change the constitution. The very life of an Indian, the rights, everything lies in constitution. We have to save the country. We have to save the constitution. We have made a big appeal to the public, to the masses. And I'm sure people would proactively respond this time.
Thank you for that perspective, Joe. And I think this is very interesting, and I think we need to discuss more of this in detail, because the perspective we have from the media in the U.S. and international media is very different. So let's come back to discuss further after a short commercial break.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
Call 855-993-2096 right now. That's 855-993-2096.
If you're on supplemental oxygen, heavy and awkward tanks can be a burden. Now you can leave home and leave the tanks behind with Inogen, portable oxygen therapy that moves with you.
With my Inogen, now I'm able to do the things that I've always loved. I just press the button here, and there's my oxygen.
Inogen systems are so small and light, you're free to leave the house without the hassles of an oxygen tank.
I could play golf again. I could go grocery shopping. I'm free again.
With the Inogen, I can handle my own oxygen. I can carry my own oxygen. I go anywhere with this. Look how small it is.
And right now, you can try an Inogen portable oxygen system for 30 days risk-free. Call us right now. If you qualify, we'll send you an Inogen system to use for 30 days risk-free. Your insurance may even cover your new Inogen system.
If you're on oxygen, you need to be using an Inogen.
Call 800-367-1753. That's 800-367-1753.
Artritis, inflamación, reuma, dolores articulares, dolores musculares, dolores, muchos dolores, una solución. Be Miracle, el milagro de vivir sin dolor. Hace más de 2.400 años, los griegos descubrieron los poderes desinflamatorios de la apitoxina, el veneno de las abejas, que es 100 veces más poderosa que la cortisona, pero sin sus efectos secundarios. Be Miracle, la fórmula original con apitoxina 100% natural, el milagro de vivir sin dolor.
Yo me acostumbré a vivir con dolor y con alta presión. Fue como un milagro. Empecé a tomar la capsulita de veneno de abejas y se me calmó el dolor. Mi presión está normal y hasta el carácter me cambió.
A nosotros nos gustaba pasear, caminar, bailar, ir a la discoteca, pero nos llegó la artritis y nos lo arruinó todo. Y ahora, tomando una capsulita diaria del veneno de la abeja, volvemos a disfrutar de la vida.
Y gracias a este milagro podemos ser felices.
B-Miracle frena la artrosis, rejuvenece las articulaciones, desinflama y elimina el dolor. Ya basta de dolores musculares, ya basta de dolores articulares, ya basta de sufrir.
Con una cápsula diaria del veneno de abejas, volví a vivir sin dolores.
B-Miracle. Llame ahora y reciba 2 meses de B-Miracle en oferta especial. Ordena 2 y recibe 3 meses de tratamiento. Pero si llama ahora mismo con su orden, recibirá la crema B-Miracle de acción inmediata completamente gratis. Para ese dolor rebelde y localizado que a veces aparece, pero tiene que marcar ahora. B-Miracle. Una cápsula por día. El milagro de vivir sin dolor toda la vida.
Do you have diabetes? If you have insurance, you may qualify for a new continuous glucose monitor. With a CGM, you can continuously track your levels and trends, spend more time in range, significantly lower your A1C, and share important data with loved ones and caregivers. Most importantly, a CGM eliminates the one thing most people with diabetes hate: painful finger sticks. Take charge of your health. Order your new continuous glucose monitor today. If you use insulin and have seen your diabetes care provider within the last 6 months, you may qualify for a CGM today. We'll do all the insurance paperwork and deliver your new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost to you. Medicare and most insurances cover continuous glucose monitors, so don't wait. Have your insurance handy and call the CGM Health Hotline now.
Welcome back as we continue this amazing conversation with Joe Anthony, the General Secretary of Samajwadi Party in India. Joe, like I said, as we concluded the first segment, this is, a very different perspective that we are getting in the Western world. In the international media, we keep hearing about the economy of India booming. We keep the GDP growing at 7 to 8%. We also hear about India being a major influencer globally. But from what you are saying, and I think some of the newer data that is coming out, for instance, the unemployment, I think from what I checked in last week, the unemployment for youth is about 40%. I mean, is that what you see? Let's talk about the state of unemployment among the youth in India for a moment.
Yes. Unemployment is a big menace. It's a big menace. Out of the total unemployed people here in India, around 85% are youth. And this unemployment percentage, it grew from 35 to almost 70 in last 2 decades. Last 10 years, this government has been in power. They should have taken steps to control it, contain it, but nothing has happened so far. Then, of course, regarding GDP, what you have stated in the beginning, of course, GDP, the percentage, once it goes up, people generally get a feeling that we are doing well. Now I have to put something across. I just want to see, for the sake of explaining that, just imagine there are 3 groups of 10 people each. Group 1 has got 10, Group 2 has got 10, Group 3 has got 10. And in the very first group, all the 10 people have enough and more to survive. and the percentage of GDP growth, say for the sake of explanation, let it be 5. In the second group, 8 people have enough and more with them, but 2 people are striving, are working hard, are starving. But if the GDP growth, there is 5.5, then I think the first group would be better than the second group, even though the rate of growth is 5%. And imagine a situation, that's the third group, where 2 people have enough and more for another 20 years. But 8 are dying. 8 are starving to death.
Mm-hmm.
If the GDP growth percentage is 7 there, even if it is 7, that is not, because the equal distribution of wealth is not happening there. Mm-hmm. So that is the situation here in India.
I see. Okay.
When we speak about GDP growth, we have to critically examine it, whether the wealth is being distributed equally, or at least in a decent fashion.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Interesting, comment there, Joe. And I think this argument is also the core of your party, which is, Samajwadi Party, right? Where you're talking about the fact that there has to be equitable distribution of the benefits of this GDP growth. And from your point of view, I think there is GDP growth, but it is only benefiting a small minority, and the rest of the country seems to be not benefiting from that GDP growth. And I think that is where the issues with unemployment and other concerns in the country are coming from. And that takes me to another one of the groups that you touched upon early on briefly. And we did see a lot of news about the farmers' protest in the country. So what's happening with the farmers? Why are they protesting, and what's the issue with the government here?
See, the farmers, the entire farmers across the country is in real distress. Because our economy is agronomy. Our economy is based on agriculture. So farmers are the strength. They should be farmers. That fraternity should be happy. And they should have the sense of confidence in the government. Whereas this government, in the year 2020, they came with very strange farm laws. And these farm laws were totally against the interest. They started protesting. It is quite natural. In a democracy, if something goes wrong, if people are not feeling comfortable, there will be protest. Huge protest from all across the country, especially in the north. I mean, the states like Haryana, Punjab, Western Uttar Pradesh. I mean, people from there, because they were they live close to Delhi, the capital region. So they assembled there. This government was keeping blind. This government was arrogant. Their approach was totally negative. 800 farmers lost their life there. And when they protested, inside Uttar Pradesh, a union minister's son himself did a massacre. Then in the year 2000, the very next year, it was 22. This was brought in 2021. In the year 22, Supreme Court had to enter. Supreme Court. They wanted something to be done in this matter. Again, on the pretext of discussions and deliberations, this government just dilly-dallied it. Finally, in the month of November, Supreme Court directed in the month of January. They just went down with it for another 10 more months. Another month of November, they had to repeal it. But even after repealing these laws, what the farmer fraternity should get, what the farmers should get, what the layman should get has not yet come. So they are still in total distress, and I hope and trust the reaction would be seen. The reaction of the farmer community could be seen in the coming election.
Okay. It is, again, interesting to learn about the root cause of these farmers' protest. Again, the international media just covers the farmers' protest as happening in India, but the root cause of all this is good to hear about it. And then there is one more item there I wanted to talk about with regard to infrastructure. We keep hearing a lot about infrastructure development as one of the major achievements of the Prime Minister Modi's government. So how do you see that part? Are you seeing enough infrastructure being developed? Are they sturdy? What's going on the infrastructure front?
See, infrastructure, when we talk, it is a very critical area. That is, when we talk about highways, yes, of course, highways work have been going on. But if you go through the real picture, these were the projects, these were in plans, these were the projects envisaged by the governments who were there much before NDA came into power. And if you take Uttar Pradesh, right now I'm sitting in Lucknow. Lucknow is the capital of Uttar Pradesh. And there is a saying, old saying, in Hindi it's a kawat, muskuraiye Lucknow. When you come to Lucknow, you should keep smiling. There were all reasons to smile in Lucknow those days because we had huge communal harmony, brotherhood, and whatnot. This was a growing city. And infrastructure-wise, you take, what you see today in Uttar Pradesh, in Lucknow, the capital of Uttar Pradesh, the Lucknow Metro, the highways built here, various in the buildings, police headquarters, cricket stadium, all these came during the time of Samajwadi Party regime. Time has gone. What this government, what BJP could do here, what they have done for the state, let them explain. So is the matter with other states also. Of course, I agree. Just regarding national highways, some work has taken place. I'm not denying that.
Okay.
But if you go deep into it, this is the reality, this is the fact.
Okay. Very. I think we are all learning very, very different perspectives about what's going on in India, and let's come back to discuss a couple more of those areas. You talked about democracy and what your take on the future of democracy in India, and also corruption is something you touched upon. So let's talk more about those as we come back after a short commercial break.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Well, here's a great idea. Donate your car now to help local veterans in your area. Yes, just make one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program. Within a few days, we'll come and remove your car for free. You can donate any car in any condition. We'll use our vast network to sell it. The proceeds raised go to help local veterans and their families. and you get a tax deduction. And all you need to do is make this free call. Clean your yard up, get rid of an old car, and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now. Book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program now.
Este es Juan. Juan quiere su televisor nuevo y esta noche viene a su casa para llevárselo. Pero no si su hogar está protegido por Seguro en Casa. Disfrute la posibilidad de monitorear toda su casa las 24 horas del día, 7 días a la semana. No solo por robos, sino también por incendios, monóxido de carbono, inundaciones y emergencias. Una solución inteligente que combina la seguridad del hogar con la automatización y le permite controlar, monitorear y modificar su hogar y sus necesidades de seguridad para adaptarse a su estilo de vida. Arme, desarme o verifique el estado de su sistema desde cualquier lugar, en cualquier momento. Comience a disfrutar de protección integral para el hogar por tan solo $27.99 al mes, incluyendo equipos de seguridad gratis por un valor de $850. Llame ahora mismo e incluiremos esta tarjeta de regalo Visa de $100 como nuestro obsequio especial para usted. Llame al número que ve en pantalla ahora mismo para proteger a su familia.
How would you like to go on a 5-star vacation for just $99? We're talking about the quality of a Westgate resort for $99. Not for one night, but for 3 fantastic nights at one of their luxurious destinations across the United States. And you'll even get a free $100 Visa gift card just for making a reservation. We've got some of the choicest destinations that you'll love in the United States that you can choose from for just $99 for a 3-night stay. Take your family, take a special loved one, but get away. Go on vacation with Westgate Resorts. Call now to make a reservation for just $99, and you get a free $100 Visa gift card. Call Westgate right now and book your vacation. Here's the number.
Call 877-930-3491. That's 877-930-3491. Again, 877-930-3491.
If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. By wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers right away. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. So call the US Med Diabetic Health Hotline today and learn about the latest CGM technology. Not only can a CGM immediately reduce pain, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you make better diabetes treatment decisions. And if you have Medicare or private insurance, you can see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. We'll also provide free shipping of your new CGM, and we'll bill your insurance company for you. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. So call the US Med Diabetic Health Hotline to see if you qualify for a CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Welcome back as we discuss the Lok Sabha elections in India in more detail with Joe Anthony, the National General Secretary of Samajwadi Party and a political strategist who is helping chart the election campaigns in the country. Joe, so in the context of the farmers' protest, you brought up a very key point that democracy is the crux of India, and so do you see concerns around that? I think some of the news items that caught the attention of the international media in the recent years were one, Rahul Gandhi's Lok Sabha seat being, he was moved out of the Lok Sabha, something along those lines, and then more recently, Arvind Kejriwal, the Chief Minister of Delhi, and the head of the Aam Aadmi Party, put in jail. So could you talk about the state of democracy and touch upon the other point related to that, which is the Constitution and changes to the Constitution as well? for our viewers to understand this better?
Yes, of course. I mean, our democracy is at risk. I would like to say, see, nothing has gone wrong with Arvind Kejriwal or Rahul Gandhi or Hemant Soren. Why? On the eve of general election, on the eve of Lok Sabha election, this arrest, freezing of International Congress Party's bank accounts, and taking another chief minister into jail. So the ruling dispensation, they want to portray there is corruption happening elsewhere. In all other parties other than NDA, it's happening everywhere. But the real comedy of that is, they started saying all the parties in the opposition and the leaders, the senior leaders of these opposition parties are soaked in corruption. I would like to recall a few months back, before they could make a break, before they could split NCP, a party based out of Maharashtra, predominantly Maharashtra. This NCP leader, Ajit Pawar, he was portrayed as a tainted leader. Thousands of crores allegation was put on him. And they could engineer a split in that party. BJP could engineer a split in that party, and Ajit Pawar joined BJP camp. The moment he joined BJP camp, in a few hours' time, he got cleansed. They gave him a clean sheet. Why I told corruption is a big, as far as this election is concerned, that's going to be a big topic of discussion, and it has been. The reason is, any corrupt close to that party will become big. This is a magic. Corruption vanishes. So the reason is, I still remember, it's a very good, Khalil Gibran had written a poem regarding rivers joining sea. Rivers, it starts from the mountains and it flows down, taking all the pebbles and whatnot along with it. And the moment when it reaches the sea mouth, it gets trembled, because rivers think, what would happen if I join there? If I go there, what would happen to my identity? But fact of the matter is, the moment it joins the ocean, the moment it joins the sea, it becomes sea. That's the final destination where they go. I just want to take this line to compare it with the corruption happening in the present dispensation. Any corrupt who flows with that baggage can go and join this movement so that they'll become clean, because that whole set of people sitting there are corrupt. They use government agencies like Enforcement Directorate, CBI, IT, departments like this for their petty gains, to take people out from one party or opposition parties and take them into their fold. Certainly, our democracy is at risk. This has to be changed. And I believe, I strongly hope and trust that there will be a change this time.
So
when I say this,
sure.
See, in the year 2014, people say there was a huge clamor for Modi, because people wanted a change. That's what experts say. And that was quite evident in the election also. When in the year 2019, People say, I'm talking about pollsters, they say there was a wave, Modi wave. But today, across the party lines, and for that reason, all posters, all journalists, they all admit one thing: there is no Modi wave. If there is no Modi wave, I'll tell you there is some undercurrent. And this undercurrent, it is, when we speak about undercurrents, it is not visible. We'll not be able to sense it with our ordinary senses. But as I told earlier, the four emotions, basically, the emotions are classified into four categories. One is happiness, another one is sadness, another one is fear, and the fourth one is anger. If had there been happiness, there would have been wave or tsunami. So no wave exists. So it is either sadness or fear or anger. From farmers, I'm sure that it's anger. From government officials, it is fear. And from youth, it is sadness. So this is what we see today.
This is Joe. I think I should say that this is very different from the perspectives that we are used to hearing about the government in India and the predictions for a win for the Prime Minister and his party. But let's come back and discuss more about what you think the results are going to be, and whether the Prime Minister's party will get a third term after a short commercial break.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse, and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
Call 855-993-2096 right now. That's 855-993-2096.
Todos quieren boletos de avión baratos, pero ¿dónde los encuentras? Llamando a Vuelos y Más. Sus precios vienen directamente de las aerolíneas y son tan bajos que no los vas a encontrar publicados en ningún otro sitio. Nos especializamos en garantizarles los boletos de avión más baratos, con descuentos en habitaciones de hotel, alquiler de carros y grandes ofertas en paquetes para cualquier lugar del mundo. No importa su destino, podemos ayudarle.
Gracias, Vuelos y Más.
¿Qué espera? Llame ya.
Do you have diabetes? If you have insurance, you may qualify for a new continuous glucose monitor. With a CGM, you can continuously track your levels and trends, spend more time in range, significantly lower your A1C, and share important data with loved ones and caregivers. Most importantly, a CGM eliminates the one thing most people with diabetes hate: painful finger sticks. Take charge of your health. Order your new continuous glucose monitor today. If you use insulin and have seen your diabetes care provider within the last 6 months, you may qualify for a CGM today. We'll do all the insurance paperwork and deliver your new CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost to you. Medicare and most insurances cover continuous glucose monitors, so don't wait. Have your insurance handy and call the CGM Health Hotline now.
If you're on supplemental oxygen, heavy and awkward tanks can be a burden. Now you can leave home and leave the tanks behind with Inogen, portable oxygen therapy that moves with you.
With my Inogen, now I'm able to do the things that I've always loved. I just press the button here, and there's my oxygen.
Inogen systems are so small and light, you're free to leave the house without the hassles of an oxygen tank.
I could play golf again. I could go grocery shopping. I'm free again.
With the Inogen, I can handle my own oxygen. I can carry my own oxygen. I go anywhere with this. Look how small it is.
And right now, you can try an Inogen portable oxygen system for 30 days risk-free. Call us right now. If you qualify, we'll send you an Inogen system to use for 30 days risk-free. Your insurance may even cover your new Inogen system.
If you're on oxygen, you need to be using an Inogen.
Call 800-367-1753. That's 800-367-1753.
Hello and welcome back as we continue this fascinating conversation with Joe Anthony, the National General Secretary of Samajwadi Party in India, which is headquartered in Uttar Pradesh, which is one of the largest states in the country. About 200 million population lives there. Pretty much 1/6 of Indian population lives in the state of Uttar Pradesh. And for context, Uttar Pradesh is, in terms of population, is the size of Brazil. Joe, let's continue this conversation and talk a little bit about your thoughts on the election results. So let me ask this point-blank question: do you think Prime Minister Modi will get a third term as the Prime Minister of the country?
Me and my party, we work hard to oust him from power. We want India to be out of power, to save the constitution of a country, to save this nation. We want that to be done. So, as I told earlier, there are certain factors which we cannot see or we cannot infer as such, but undercurrent is there. So we have been consistently telling people not to fear, come out in open, express yourself, and let's see that this government is changed or this is routed. And me personally, yes, I do believe there will be a change. On June 4th, that will be a big day for us, and that will be a good day for the nation, and there will be huge human cry. These people would try to do lot many things, to cling on to power. But my favorite quote, Swami Vivekananda's quote, which I used to tell wherever I go, these people will try, this government will try to intimidate you. They have already tried to keep voters whom they think are not in their favor away from the booths. They try to take out people who are not in their favor from the voters list. But I always remind my voters and colleagues, Swami Vivekananda's lines, let not the bucks of puppies frighten you. No, not even the thunderbolts of heaven shall frighten you. You should have the muscles of iron and nerves of steel. And it's time we have to stand up and fight for saving our constitution, for saving this nation from communal forces, for saving this nation from corrupt forces, so for saving this nation from the people who have been walking or acting like dictators. So I 100%, I believe there will be a change in God.
Very interesting perspective for sure, Joe. And let's touch base on a different topic now. I mean, it's just it's the nature of political campaigns in India, where, how has it evolved, post-independence to today, from poll violence to booth capturing days, to wall posters, print media, social media, so could you talk about the evolution of political campaigning in India? And I'm sure over your several years as a leading politician in the country, you have seen that evolution. Could you talk a little bit about that, as many other countries are also going through that phase?
See, what has been happening in 1952, no, I don't have much idea, but I'm sure there would be a sea change in what's happening now and then. But last 10 years, if you take, the transition was so deep. See, we were banking on televisions, newspapers, radios, pamphlet distribution, and things like that. It all got changed. Today, predominantly it has become a digital one. Everything got digitalized. So it may be because of the bandwidth available here, maybe because of the population of mobile phones, the number of mobile phones here, and the access being given to social media and other internet access. So these may be the reasons for the evolution. And along with that, the cost, the expenditure has also gone up in a big way. See, 2019, it was around 60,000 crores. That was the expenditure. And after 5 years, now we expect 1,35,000 crores. So this, in the campaign, of course, huge change you can see. Then this booth capturing and all, of course, it had happened earlier. There is no doubt. And in some places, even today, it happens. I'm really sorry to state this, but in the phase 3 or phase 4, one video got circulated here. A young boy, maybe of 20 or 21, 22, he going to a booth and casting vote on electronic voting machine, EVMs. He's casting for BJP 8 times. One single guy going there and casting 8 times. So he would have used different ID cards for that. That's also booth capture. This is, and cases also charged. Now a case is also charged. So this is, it's happening. Even it is not 100% free, but I'm sure our authorities would take cognizance and appropriate action would be taken and initiated.
And on a related note, there were, not recently, but probably a couple of years ago, there was talk about the electronic voting machines being used, and there was some controversy about that. What do you think about the current state of the electronic voting machines, and any concerns there?
See, the current state of EVMs in the current fashion, I think it is vulnerable. My personal opinion, I'm not a technocrat, but I think this is something which could be manipulated. This could be manipulated. So the other methods should be adopted for that. Even we can have now, but it's not being counted completely. There should be a system where the ballot comes out, when from the VVPAT, when it comes out, we should take it by hand and we should put it in the box. Because it should be leak-proof, foolproof. But whereas I have my own suspicion, I'm a skeptic. My party also believes that this is something that has to be replaced. EVMs no more it's safe. That's what we feel. It's not safe.
Interesting. So now, Joe, let's talk about a different scenario. I'm sure this is a scenario you would like to see, a scenario where, let's say, the India alliance comes to power and Samajwadi has a major say in how the future of India will be shaped. So in such a scenario, what would you like to see being achieved by India in the next 5 years?
See, we have already announced that if India comes to power with my party, Samajwadi Party, having a considerable role in it, my leader, Akhilesh Yadavji, my party president, has already announced the first decision will be the waiver of farmer loans. These farmers have been struggling so far. I mean, all these years they have been struggling. They struggled so bad. The very existence of a small-time farmer is in question. So whether a farmer has bought his own farmland or not, a farmer has taken some loan, agricultural loan, that will be waived. So this is one step what we are going to take. Then in all areas, to address unemployment will be the farming new policies. For even as we spoke about EVMs, electoral reforms would be brought in, and there would be more transparency. Our agencies, government agencies like ED, IT, CBA, all these the people, all these agencies would be given more freedom, and more structuring of resources would be done. We will be doing our best to save the constitution by conducting a caste-based census. The people who are eligible for reservation will never be denied if we want to come to power. End of the day, we need to see our nation is progressing. And I'm sure that this cannot be built in a day. It will take some time, but we will be working towards that. Once we get power, everything is over. That is not going to be the scenario. Again, I would like to quote Robert Frost. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. We'll keep working towards that.
And on that positive note, and with a note combined with a sense of realism, let's conclude this segment with Joe. Joe, once again, it was a pleasure having you on the show and listening to your views on the politics of India and the future of India. And for our viewers out there, we'll be back again, same time next week.
Thank you.
This has been a Now Media Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.
If you're living with diabetes and using insulin, you know the pain of pricking your fingers over and over again. By wearing a small device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can reduce the pain of pricking your fingers right away. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. So call the US Med Diabetic Health Hotline today and learn about the latest CGM technology. Not only can a CGM immediately reduce pain, it's accurate, easy to use, and helps you make better diabetes treatment decisions. And if you have Medicare or private insurance, you can see if you qualify for a CGM at little or no out-of-pocket cost. We'll also provide free shipping of your new CGM, and we'll bill your insurance company for you. If you use insulin daily, you might be eligible to get your own continuous glucose monitor. So call the US Med Diabetic Health Hotline to see if you qualify for a CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Do you have a car sitting around you want to get rid of? Well, here's a great idea. Donate your car now to help local veterans in your area. Yes, just make one fast call to the Veteran Car Donation Program. Within a few days, we'll come and remove your car for free. You can donate any car in any condition. We'll use our vast network to sell it. The proceeds raised go to help local veterans and their families. And you get a tax deduction. And all you need to do is make this free call. Clean your yard up, get rid of an old car, and help the vets. We make it easy. Make this free call now. Book your fast and easy pickup. Call the Veteran Car Donation Program now.